let's just get right into the second part here. Looking back on from when this project got started, what would you change as or would you change anything as your role with Charlie Barefoot, Jerry?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
Probably some of the things I probably would change in it. I may have been a little hard when I first started because, as my wife has told me 1,000 times, you know what you're doing, but we don't know what you're doing. And sometimes you relate it to us in a way that you understand it, but we don't understand it. And maybe looking back at it, I see sometimes maybe good musicians that I've had out here that I wasn't hard on, but I was trying to get a professional sound, you know,
and your sound.
Right.
You know, I worked with a bunch of bands, and you could tell, and it's just my opinion. Take it with a grain of salt or whatever. You know, when you try to describe somebody to somebody in a band, when you're, at least this is my experience. You know, I try to tell a band, look, we need to work on our sound. And we need to dial in our sound into our setup, right? And the band I'm in a band now too. I'm not going to admit that's not related to this podcast, but the band I'm in now, they understand that when I say that. If you don't necessarily have that kind of mindset in a band, it's going to be really hard for the band to move, in my opinion, to move forward.
I think that when you describe sound, a fan will know that band is in the first 5 notes.
Just like
it's their sound.
Like Rush. Yep. Love them or hate them. You're going to know it's Rush every freaking song because they have perfected their sound.
That's our goal with Charlie Barefoot.
Yeah.
Is perfecting that sound. And these guys here, but getting back to your question though, when I brought Gary on, Gary was only country. We had to work with Gary, to get Gary up to speed with the Gary. To understand where we were, what kind of sound we wanted, what kind of beat we wanted, you know what I'm saying? And that wasn't easy. You know, then Lynn would come on, and the same thing. Then Eric come on, same thing. But the great thing about these guys was they did jump on board and grasp that. Where some of the artists I've had in here was way better than these guys here were. They're probably not now, but way better at that time. But they couldn't grasp where we were coming with the sound and where I was headed to. You know, in my head, I knew what I had to have. I knew what we were trying to create. And in fact, these guys will tell you for the last, 3 or 4 months, I said, we rented buildings just to go there and try to perfect our sound on stage.
What's great, though, is you're with a bunch of guys that understand that term. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of times it's difficult to get those people. What do you mean work on I got my rig the way I want it to sound. Yeah. You know, and it's like, well, it's not about just your rig. You know, you got to look at the front of house PA, how you're going to sound coming through, right. What your defined sound is, what you're trying to go out as a whole, as a band in general. You know, yep. When I say work on a sound, that's what I'm talking about.
That's me.
Yeah,
that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I think when you're dealing with bands like this, when you find the 4 or 5 or however many, at one time we were going to go with 3. And then we decided we needed Glenn as a 4th, and we brought him in because we couldn't find the right members that could play the right role. So we switched roles a lot. I played bass for a while, and again, like Linwood, I never played bass. Well, here, I brought a bass today, and you're going to learn to play this. Okay. And the band is a journey. When you think about roles and replacements, we started in a warehouse down here with 2 Corvettes sitting in there and someone running a rummage sale. And that's, we try to get a sound out of there. Then we go to a closed down fairgrounds out here off of I-70 with no power, no heat, no air conditioning. We bought 200 feet wires, and Jerry was insistent about the sound, and we were running so many watts, the aluminum on the building shaking, and we're like, we got this reverberation, and so That's the rules. The rules change.
Yeah.
The venues, we go to different places.
Right.
And that's what makes the joy of a band a real band.
And what's really cool, in my opinion, is when you finally get it, and that you all are on the same page of what the sound is. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
You can have a rock and roll blues band if you haven't experienced some blues.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
if we just walked in with 3-piece suits and started playing, we were all professional, that wouldn't be this band.
Right.
Because this band is developed from hardships. It's developed from people having tragedies. So as you get into our catalog of sounds or songs, which we may do another podcast on that, there's a song for everybody, no matter what they did in their life.
That's why
Every one of us here have experienced tragedy. I don't care if it's a family member, your personal self, your financial self.
I'd rather listen to music than watch TV. So.
Exactly. But in that music, you're going to get a really good vibe out of it. But then all of a sudden, you're going to start listening to the words.
Right.
And the words are going to speak to you. It's going to speak to your heart.
Right.
And that's where I think you grasp what Charlie Barefoot's about.
Right.
It took me a while to grasp it because I didn't understand the music at first. Because I didn't know any of the lyrics. I'm just trying to find the
Right.
changes.
And that's also you're so more worried about, hey, am I playing right for this?
And
Yeah.
then the next thing you know, you're singing the song in your head
Right.
as you're playing it. And then all of a sudden you listen to the words you're singing in your head as you're playing it. And then it all comes together. Like I've told these guys many times, you may see me just close my eyes while I play sometimes. I'm there somewhere else. I'm in that song in some fashion or form. I'm feeling that song.
Well, look.
If I don't feel it, I couldn't play it.
Right.
You know?
Right. And look, now that you've established that, you've got some songs down, you do play some covers. Where do y'all see yourselves playing? I mean, what I know I'm originally from Charlotte, but Wilmington's home, and it's got a huge scene, really good music scene. Are y'all wanting to play down in Wilmington or just wherever, or where y'all going to try to get started first?
As you start to branch out, especially with you coming in, helping us these podcasts, seeing what we're doing as a band that's trying to come out with an impression. We're not just going to come out and not be right. So we prepared ourselves for a while, preparing ourselves for the marketing package for social media that we're working on now with an upcoming album, which we're going to release here real soon in the future. Probably going to have 10, 11, maybe 12 songs on it. We have a large amount of songs that we can put out.
Right.
So we're going to put out several LPs in certain time frames because that's the only way people will grasp the music. But we'll play. We're looking to hopefully play some of the local festivals. If any of the festival promoters are out there watching this podcast, we want to make sure we get a good group of names for everyone, starting around the New Bern, Jacksonville, Morehead City, down to Wilmington. As you grow, you're going to expand out. As people hear you, they're going to request other places to say, "Hey, can you bring this band in? We really like them." So we're willing to play a lot of areas. We're not opposed to playing. We might even do a pop-up show somewhere on the side of the street one day. We'll tell you on the internet.
Plans. That's our plans.
Hey, be well, 2:00 on Saturday.
Right,
afternoon
on the little
corner of Jones and Main Street.
Like on a little flatbed trailer or something.
Yeah,
exactly. We got a flatbed trailer we're going to use.
Yeah.
We played in that warehouse. We had to get 2 generators and 200 feet of wire, so we can hook up from a long distance.
Oh yeah,
right.
We got. But me and Lynn was on the phone last night. I was talking about what we're talking about right now. In fact, we're on the phone every night. All those guys are. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And discussing where our next role is, what we need to do. That's a great thing. The guys I had that come in before, some of them stayed 7, 8 months. You know what I'm saying? But the problem was, they just didn't see the vision. They didn't see what we see. They just thought it was going to be a barroom band, get out and play a little bit. That's it. But we saw more. But our plans are very quick, very shortly here, is start playing out, going to Walmart place. Anywhere we can go, we can set up and play for an hour. Advertise it. We're going to be at so-and-so place, set up 5 o'clock. So-and-so place at 8 o'clock.
Right.
That kind of stuff.
Right.
So try to cover 3 places in a day, get ourselves known with our merchandise there, with our cards there, and then we let people know who we are and try to promote ourselves. And go.
So with that, in a year, where do you see you guys?
I think this is personally, in my view, if the things in the dominoes fall in place, because we really don't know where we might be popular at. Because with the internet and the social media sources, we could be in Jackson Hole, Wyoming and be loved. And we won't know it until the music's out. And once we start seeing where the people that are listening are coming from, that'll give us targeted areas because we have no fears with traveling anywhere. If of course, it has to be the right fees and everything, but we look to get out and play. Where anybody wants us to play, we expect to go.
Right.
We're all pretty much able to travel. Yeah. So, one good thing about being an older guy is you don't have as many work obligations. So, if they want us to
little less responsibilities.
Hey, if we're going to Austin, Texas, we're getting in the van. I'm just not riding with Linwood, but we're getting in the van and we're going.
Y'all have gear, we'll travel.
You better have a receipt.
We got trailers.
Yeah, I could see that. So, you mentioned CDs. How soon do you think you might want to get a CD out for folks listening? And what all you got to try to put? What formats you're going to try to get on as many formats as you can?
Right now we have a CD we're working on. We got the music. We just haven't sat down yet and gone through the task cam and edited all of it and burn it down. We got the capability of burning down what we need in here. That kind of stuff. Do all the whole 9 yards. In fact, we're in the process of trying to get our pictures made to go on the cover of it, the whole 9 yards, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Hopefully it'll be called Beginnings by Charlie Barefoot, with at least 7 songs on it. Could be 10, could be a little more. We don't know yet. But right now we know there'll be at least 7. But the hardest part for us though is to decide which song to try to use to promote with, because we like all of them. So
you should do the pin the tail on the donkey or something and have it draw names with it or something. Put it in a pot, and the one you pick out, that's the one you use.
But I sent all of them a text the other day, and we do this all the time. I said, guys, we have got to figure out which one we're going to use on this CD. In fact, me and Eric was talking about that. I said, Eric, we need to come up with some names of the album. Eric said, Generation. I said, that's ideal. You know what I'm saying? So just off the bat, we're going to call the first one Generation, because it is a generational thing. It's something the first time, as we see it.
Right.
It might be to some of the public, but to us, as we see it.
So maybe within the next 6 months or so, hopefully have something.
We're hoping by March, middle of March, we'll have it done and rolling.
Now that you're working on that, you're going to get the CD out soon. Let's just wrap up. As a whole, what is Charlie Barefoot all about?
Eric, you got the story behind that.
Charlie Barefoot, which I was almost starting to do. Charlie Barefoot is basically a character that Jerry has developed. That he, like you said, he had a vision of it. Well, in that vision, there's many chapters of Charlie Barefoot. Yes. We have many adventures to talk about. So we hope to also release not just a CD, but hopefully cartoon chronicles that we'll put out on our website as well. That will depict these songs that are made so you can understand how the song should make you feel, kind of thing. So we got a lot of diversity here that we're going to do. But these songs that were written by Jerry, they all come from a source that was felt deep inside of himself, where the song I Feel Fine. Everything in this world may be going downhill on you, but here's this guy sitting there in the middle, and the sun's shining down on him. He's like, but I feel fine. I'm looking around. I'm okay.
I do.
I'm okay. What went wrong?
Look, I know music personally has personally saved a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You take what went wrong. What went wrong was a song about a guy laying in bed next to his relationship, and he knows there's problems. And he's trying to figure them out. He thinks he's got them all figured out. But in reality, you still got to get up and face those problems, okay? But how are you going to face them? So that's what the music, to me, brought to me.
That's awesome.
Listen to Your Heart, another song. I have it actually on the back of my shirt. It's my favorite song. So Listen to My Heart is the philosophy I have followed all my life. That's why I'm here. I listened to my heart before I ever knew the song. And I guess I've always felt your life unfolds by its own design, a little bit of a Grateful Dead in me. But that's how I felt. Things in my life have come to me, and I've had options. And I've had to make those decisions, and as that, my life's rolled out. I had no vision at 62 years of age when I joined this band that I was going to be in a band.
I'm 50, almost 55. I didn't think I'd be playing, and here I am playing.
Playing, trying to play some songs off the radio, feeling good, start feeling pretty good about myself. And all of a sudden, I'll get on band mix. I'll find somebody to play these songs with me. And then Jerry called, and then all of a sudden, my whole world changed. Everything changed for me. And then my wife wanted to know why I went from like 5 guitars to 25 guitars.
There is no such thing as too many guitars.
I'm running out of wall space.
That's what I tell my wife.
Ain't no such thing.
That's the only reason I'm in the band, to make money to buy more guitars.
That's right. That's right.
That's all I care about.
That's right.
All I want to do was
To me,
fish and hunt.
Well, look,
That's what this band is about.
right, and look, this has been a great. I really appreciate this. I've said it enough already, but these guys are really genuine and really good folks, and they got some really good material. I'm gonna ask one last question. That's not on my chart, but where can people find you all? I mean, tell them exactly where to go to find Charlie Barefoot on social media. Where can they find y'all if they want to hear your music and see all this stuff?
We have a Facebook and also a YouTube channel and also a website.
What's the actual address at the
You
website?
type in Charlie Barefoot 411 YouTube
Okay.
or Charlie Barefoot 411 Facebook or just Charlie Barefoot and they carry you straight to the website.
Okay.
So we made it easy to be easy to memorize. Is to just, but you put like Facebook Charlie Barefoot 411, YouTube Charlie Barefoot 411, whole 9 yard, and the other side.
Yeah, but do y'all play barefooted?
I will. I have no problem with it.
I was just joking, man. I thought it'd just be something fun to ask. All right, guys. Well, look, we're going to wrap this up. Just wanted to say thank you so much again, and looking forward to doing more stuff with you all this year. And excited for you all, and wish you all well.
Well, I thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I feel privileged to play with these guys. I
Yes.
really do. They mean the world to me.
Sounds
I feel
great.
privileged to have them on board with me. So, thank you.
Well, that's awesome. Looking forward to a happy and great year with you all, and wish you all well. Thanks a lot. Thank you all for watching, whoever watches this podcast, and thank you all for your support.
Thank you very much.